Hi there. I wanted to share my new AI flow that I'm doing with Cursor and Aider. I've gone through a journey where I was using first Copilot with VS Code, and then I moved to Cursor, which is a fork of VS Code, with the Composer, which is this view here, which was definitely a huge step up, multi-file edits and all that, but you can't move the window, and it's just kind of an annoying UI flow. And so I've moved on to Aider on the recommendation of someone else, which is a command line tool. I really like it because you can I usually have it in another window on a different monitor. And what I'm going to demonstrate today is that this dev flow that I've been working on, which my theory is that you can go 5x your normal dev speed with higher quality than you normally do, because I think that's the big question everyone has, is like, can you do it fast with quality? And so this site I'm going to show you has taken me 28 or so hours to do. I've been keeping track of all my hours as I go. It's deployed to a development and production environment in DigitalOcean, which is a platform I've never used before. I researched that using the AI tools. I did the logo and branding with AI tools. I did the styling with AI tools. I haven't written a single line of code. It's all been done with AI tools. And here it is running locally. And basically, it provides a full CRUD on the carriers, which is the main thing I focused on. So you could come in and create a new carrier and say this is a new demo carrier, some number, some other number, letter mix, whatever. There's not validations yet. I'll get to those. And so now if I search for demo, you see the demo carriers down here. I can refresh the page, search for demo again, it's still there. I could edit it if I wanted to, which is like changed, and then I can delete it. There's a bug there where I have to refresh the page for that for some reason, which I will figure out later. So then we delete. I've also got full CI/CD. So when you merge to develop or master, or any branch actually, it'll kick off the test, and you can't merge to develop or master without the test passing. So that was set up for me as well. And again, all of this has been done without any coding by me. I've just been basically code reviewing and using Aider. Well, I actually did Composer for the first part of it. So I'm going to come in, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start Aider. Once you start it up, I'm starting it in architect mode with Sonnet, using the latest model that I know about. I'm going to go ahead and ask it to do a refactor for me. If we look at the current layout of the solution, I can get over. By the way, this README is really good, and it's also completely generated by Aider, so it talks about how to do the AI assistant, etc. So let me go ahead and open the side here. Right now, our carriers lives in this folder here, and the last task I did, if we look at my my log here, is that I refactored the React query. It did a pretty good job there, and then I asked it to break out the queries and types into a separate piece there, but I still don't like this pattern enough. So what I want is I want to have the domain logic and things that call the UI pulled out, whether you like that pattern or not. This is just meant to show the refactoring capabilities. So what I can do is come into Aider, and I just add a few files. I'll say I want to add the page .tsx, and I'll grab the one that's in there, and then I'll say I want to add the slash brings up all the commands. I'll say I want to add queries, and then I want to add types in the same directory, and then I'm just going to ask it. You can ask, which is great because you can really get it to where it looks right, and then you can tell it to do the code, which in my opinion is better than some of the other tools I've used, which end up creating code and not deleting it, and you get this big mess on your hands. So I'll just say my current UI data flow patterns for carriers could be better. I want to break out the API calls and into a domain area that is that can easily be shared by other features on the app. Let's see what it comes up with. So it'll suggest some things to me. So it's suggesting that it'll do source, domain, carriers, API types, hooks. That looks pretty good to me. Okay, so first things first, let's go ahead. We can have it run our test. I have it configured to do the test. Let's just make sure all the tests pass. And that's the idea, is that I had it write the test after I created the page super quickly. And then now that we have tests, that I've instructed it to create tests that allow you to change the way the code's implemented without having to rewrite the test, we can have it refactor and then just run the test to make sure nothing broke. So it makes the flow very fast. It's just XP style programming. So then I'll come in and say, okay, that looks good. So then I'll say, I'll ask it again, for your previous refactor suggestion, what files do you need me to create? Unfortunately, I haven't figured out how to make it create the files for you, but you can just ask it what it needs, and it will give you the commands that you need to execute. So it's still a very quick flow, in my opinion. So I'll just create the files that it needs for its refactor real quick, and then come back over here, say, okay, please do the changes now. So then now it's coming through and it's going to show me the changes it recommends. I'll pause while this is running. Okay, we're back at finished running. It's asking me if I want to edit the files. I'll say yes. I'll pause again while it's running. Okay, that just finished running. I like it tells you how much it costs too. So this session's 12 cents so far, and this is going to be 3 cents. So it's asking me if I'll allow it to edit this file that I haven't added yet. Can I edit that file? Yes, so I tell it to edit all these files. And what's cool is it made the changes, but now it goes ahead and automatically reruns the test, which I think is just such a good flow. And if one of the tests would break, it would tell me, hey, your test broke. Do you want me to fix it? And then it'll go out and figure out how to fix it, which is also really great flow. So now it's adding to add a few more files to it. I'm not sure why. It also works on a git commit basis. So it wants me to run these commands here to remove some files that were no longer needed. Let's see, I don't know if it's going to remove them for me. I don't think it will. Let's see, so those files, actually it did remove those files. Maybe it would create the files. I might be being silly, but I did have some problems on the last time I did it, and it didn't create the files. So it deleted the files it didn't need. So now if we look over here, carriers is here. The test just ran, so that seems to indicate things are still working. We've got domains here with API, which contains all this carrier stuff for React Query, which I added on a previous refactoring. The types, the hooks, all looks good, right? So then now I need to let my team know about this, right? So let me go ahead and just add the README file here. Whoop. No. Add README. Okay, and so now I'll say this pattern looks great. Let's add an architecture section of the site, the README that covers the file organization and also the tools we are using, and give a small example. Oh, and I should make this an ask. Let me go back. Actually, no, I'm just going to do it because the README stuff ends up being a little clunky. So what I mean by clunky is that the formatting is weird in the terminal here. So it's showing it's going to do the README for me and add this new architecture section. So while this is running, I'll go ahead and talk about that. My plan is to move the architecture parts to a separate README file so that I can pull just that README into the context when I'm doing changes. And my theory is that in the future, I'll be able to tell it, build this piece using the patterns in our architecture guide. And that should work, in my opinion. We'll see. So I'll go ahead and let it edit that file. It looks like we have a little funk over here. I need to clean that up before we go. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at the README now. Here is the README. Should be getting updated. Uh-oh. What is that complaining about? Unable to commit. Okay. Looks like our test pass did the README update. Let's see. Yeah, so we have our new architecture section. Let me do this. Let me make a white space change and save because I'm using this plugin that will that's building this piece for me. So now if we come over here and look, we've got this great documentation of what we just did. This is the Next.js router. There's components that have the UI pieces, domain that has this here. And so that's a pretty good light documentation. We follow domain-driven design principles, API hooks, types, explains. Here's an example. So I would review that more closely, but you get the idea. You can get your documentation done pretty good too. That's why my README looks so great. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try and make some more as I get further along, but I'm really loving this flow. I hope you all dig it too.